This game's dead. That game's dead. Hey, don't play that game, it died. Hey guys, is this game alive? These are phrases and questions that gets thrown around the gaming community for as long as I can remember. But what does it all really mean? I want to talk to you guys in this video about games people consider dead. The "this game is dead" phrase has been spread throughout the YouTube gaming comment section like cancer, and I start to wonder, does anyone even understand what a dead game even looks like anymore? Or what it actually means to be a dead game? Though this is my opinion, I feel people should ask themselves what it really means for a game to be dead. A lot of people decide to simply not try a game because of some edgy YouTube commenter saying that X game is dead. Or they've seen a YouTuber who has had a personal fallout with the game that they want to make it their mission to make sure no one likes the game either. I'm sure you guys have seen some examples of what I'm talking about. It's the same mentality of these who quit the game but can't simply move on without them feeling the need to make a whole movement out of it. I don't know if it's to validate their own decision to quit or to get back at a company or developer they feel betrayed by, but I see this behavior and it's very toxic for people who want an open and honest opinion and discussion about a game they might want to try. What qualifies a dead game anyway? I mean, I'm speaking subjectively, basically my opinion, but I hope my view can help you guys filter through the opinions of hurt ex-players acting like butthurt ex-girlfriends of X game and the actual reality of a game's status. For me, I determined if a game is dead based off of three major factors. One being the player base, two being content, and three, communication. Since I came back to Black Desert recently, I'm going to use Black Desert as an example. Black Desert, since I returned, has been going through major changes, a lot that I am extremely against. Since coming back, I've been told numerous times by numerous people that Black Desert is dead. The funny thing is that the people who say this aren't new players who walk through a game that feels like a ghost town, but the very veterans who invested the most amount of time in the video game itself. These are often veterans who quit and had major disagreements with the changes that came to the game and left on bad terms. Sadly, these people often feel the need to make others quit by throwing negative blanket phrases and statements to anyone who's looking to get an opinion from a player. There are a lot of factual, objective criticisms about BDO that they could use, but instead they just say blanket statements like, "This game is dead, don't play. This game is unbalanced, don't play. This game is paid to win, don't play." But today we're just going to talk about this game is dead. So let's take a look at Black Desert Steam charts. Let me add that this is only showing the player base who plays Black Desert through Steam. There are other ways of playing Black Desert through the website directly and other avenues of downloading the game, so this is only keeping track of the Steam player base. But I do feel it's a healthy representation of the status of the game, player base wise. So in the last 6 months, BDO average player base, despite all the major changes on Steam, averages about at 14,936 players present. So from January 2018 to present day June, the average players online is 14,936, combining those months. So that just shows you what BDO looks like in the last 6 months. Now let's look at last year's. The hated changes came in hand after hand from like March all the way to May, but the player base number stayed relatively around the average. So now as we look at last year's, you can see the Steam numbers. So let's see, from July 2017 to December 2017, relatively 6 months, you had an average of 13,426 players online at a given time. So despite all of the edgy BDO "this game is dead" comments and videos saying the game is dead and it sucks and it's dying, the numbers tell an exactly different story. The average player base has been presented as a stronger figure in the recent months than it did last year. So I might even dare to say the game is still slightly growing, or at least maintaining. But Mikers, everyone is AFK, so the numbers are fake. Now this point is completely redundant because BDO was an AFK intensive game from the start. This argument is valid if BDO became a heavy AFK MMO in the later months only, but that's just not the case. This game was an AFK game since it existed at the very beginning, so there is no argument of, oh, that's just AFK numbers. You can say that's just AFK numbers from the beginning, so I don't consider that a real variable. It's a consistent factor of the gameplay. So looking at that, AFKers from the present, past, and future, with these numbers included, the player base average has increased. So BDO clearly passes the player base test, and in my eyes, player base wise, it's not a dead game. This is just my opinion using objective numbers. Another thing I use to decide if a game is dead is content. Content is another realistic thing you should look at when determining if an MMO is dead. So once again, BDO devs has a lot of things they've been pushing forward with the game. They recently demonstrated their console version of the game, though I personally don't like how it looks, but it's still something they're working on, and it's Black Desert related. So yes, they completed the console version of the game and they'll be launching that very soon. They also recently added a fairy system and renown system, which fairy system excluded. I personally do not like the renown system, but they added a new class as well called Milan, and are working to release another class in the coming months. Not to mention there's another region they plan to release by the end of 2018. So once again, BDO is still having, whether we like these changes or not, it's a different story. But the BDO project is very much alive and still being pushed forward. Communication. I would say BDO is lacking the biggest in this department. I would say BDO communication category is barely passing, if not failing. I do give a shout out for them responding to Shaky Base and a bunch of other YouTubers' efforts to bringing light to the hacking issue in the BDO community. I do give them props for their somewhat swift response and actual announcement of them cracking down on hackers in their continual efforts to bring down the fires of the damage these hackers have made. So kudos to them. But in my opinion, they still need to improve on taking players' feedback more seriously, and I do hope that they can learn to take the criticisms as constructively as possible and make better changes in the future that encompasses the actual opinions of the PvP community. Because despite the growing player base, I do feel like PvP in this game is dying, but this is once again my opinion. One, because I see a lot less people literally PvPing, so I can't really figuratively take out numbers to prove this, but that's just my opinion. But after going through this video and now seeing comments like this game is dead, or BDO is dead, or X game is dead, hopefully you can now filter through the edgy single line statements of most likely X players who had a disagreement and what's actual factual reality. To sum things up, for me, a game is dead is when they release new group content and there is no group of players to actually do the content. I know this may sound unheard of for a lot of you people, but I assure you that this is a reality of many games I played that are truly dead to this day. I mean, a player base of 60 or their server are shut down. I've played real dead games most people have never even heard of, that's gotten shut down and gone quietly into the night to never be mentioned honorably ever again. So I don't let emotional X players or edgy commenters saying a game is dead sway my opinion. And I hope in the future, new players and old don't give in to emotional grudges and think constructively about what they want to play and why they should play it. Well guys, you heard my thoughts. At what point do you call a game dead? What are the things you look for before considering a game to be alive? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and would like to hear more of my thoughts on more topics, please consider hitting the like button. And if you're new to Micros TV, please consider hitting the subscribe button. Now see you guys in the next one.